This is the Tom Barnard Podcast. Listen live weekday mornings, 8 to 9:30, or anytime you like as a podcast on the Tom Barnard app at tombarnardshow.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, we got to figure out. So how long have the three of us been on the show together? It's been, about a year and 3 months or something? Well, not that long, but maybe about a year.
I'm a little after you two, I think, for when the show started.
Oh,
but,
okay.
About maybe this time or so, because when did I started helping out when Andy went down to visit you in Florida for last year.
Yeah, right.
So it's probably coming up on a year for me, but you guys got a little bit more legs on me, right?
Yeah, I was kind of looking at it. But the only reason I bring it up is because we were working on some stuff this morning, which would be the first time these two have ever done anything to contribute to the show. So, it takes a little over a year, I guess.
Yeah.
A little under a year in your case.
Once a year is my quota.
Yep.
Do you ever set out in the morning? I woke up, I got to start going to bed later because I'm waking up at like 4:30 in the morning now, which it used to be 3:30 in the morning, but now it's 4:30. So I think if I stay up till 11, I might sleep maybe until 5:30.
What time are you going to covers the chin right now?
10 o'clock.
Okay. Yeah. So, start with half an hour if you're.
Maybe 10:30.
Yeah.
That'd be good. But I got to adjust because, I've been awake now since like 4:45 this morning. And then okay, I literally drove around, which, by the way, God hates me. I'm taking, I said, you know what I'm going to do? Because I haven't been down there in a while. I'm going to go drive around Lake Harriet, Bidet Makaska. Is it Makaska or Makaska?
It's Bidet Makaska, I believe.
Yeah, you had it right.
It is Makaska.
Yep.
Okay. And bidet, isn't that what women use to clean out?
Yeah. Well, no, I think that's like a European bath toilet.
Yeah, that's in the loo.
Yeah.
That's the loo.
That's the
a
jet
fancy
propulsion water. Yeah.
The first time that I ever heard that in person, the lead singer for Duran Duran, they were playing a club the first time they got here. I picked them up at the airport. The club was over on 26th and 26th in South Minneapolis. What is that? He's Marilyn Monroe. He's on is it Maryland's, or it wasn't that at the time, but I'm trying to think of what the hell that is.
I think I know the area you're talking about.
Yeah, but those guys were playing a live show there, their first show in America, and look how huge they got. But I'm standing there, and the lead singer comes over and he goes, Tom, I need to ask you a question. I said, what's that? And he goes, where's the loo? I said, what? The loo. I need to go to the loo. I said, I have no idea what the hell you're saying. And then the other guy looks at me and he goes, hey, call it a bathroom here. So I learned what a loo was that day. But great guys, as a matter of fact. But in any case, I'm going to go around Lake Harriet and go around Lake Calhoun, going around, all of the magnificent lakes down there. The only sad thing about it, and I did not know this because, the economy's changed and all the rest of it. I am not exaggerating. Around those three lakes, there are at least 75 to 100 houses for sale.
Oh, yeah.
Now, is that because they're worth a lot more than they paid for them now? Is it because they just don't want to live in that area anymore? It's a beautiful, man, that was like heaven when I was a kid.
Man, I mean, I don't know. Like, I would love to live around the lake.
Gorgeous.
But the houses over there, pretty expensive.
Yeah, they're spendy.
Yeah, but and a lot of them, because I used to walk around there. There's a dog park over in that area that I used to go to all the time.
Yep.
And a lot of those houses have been for sale for quite a while.
Oh, have
and
they?
So I don't know if it's maybe the people are trying to take advantage of the higher market, and now people that are trying to move there, like, I'm not paying $7 million to live in town.
Yeah.
But I would move over there if I had an extra $7 million laying around.
Oh God, yeah.
It is absolutely stunningly beautiful. It's just gorgeous that, going around all the lakes and just hanging out and all the rest of it. But I just, all those houses for sale. I got to believe some people just don't want to live in the city anymore.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like too much house for them to handle too.
Well, that's a possibility. Well, Catherine and I went through that.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like, this house is way too big for the two of us, so we got to get the hell out of here. And then, but it kind of made me sad in a way that the neighborhood is going to change by 100 houses over the next year or so. It's like, man, because Paul Majors used to live right on the What the hell's the little lake called again? That's really sad that I don't remember.
Because it's Harriet, Bede-Makaska, and then because it's all, I just call that whole area the Lake of the Isles.
The Lake of the Isles.
Yeah.
I think it is Lake of the Isles. Is that the name of the little lake?
It's called. I'm trying to find.
God, that's so sad. I don't remember. I used to go down there to walk or run all the time. Great place to walk and run. I don't know about now. Maybe you get robbed.
Diamond Lake?
No, not
No,
Diamond.
I see
Cedar Lake.
Cedar. Yeah.
No.
Cedar Lake.
Oh, maybe it is just Lake of the Isles. It's
I think
the
it
one
is
with
Lake
like
of the Isles, yeah.
the island kind of in the middle of
Oh
it.
yeah. It is.
I think it is Lake of the Isles.
Lake
yeah.
of the Isles. Yep.
One time when Tommy was maybe in his early 20s and maybe at a bar and maybe met a young woman, drove over there after bar close, stripped naked and swam in that lake. This woman and I just met her that night. And I'm like, woke up in the morning and went, did I really do what I think I did? I mean, it was fun. Don't get me wrong. It's kind of mushy in there. I will tell you that. I remember it being kind of muddy and mushy.
Yeah, Lake of the Isles, like Bede-Makaska, not necessarily the cleanest lakes that you would want to go swim in today, but
yeah,
back then maybe it was different.
They still put up hockey rinks and stuff in the winter.
Yep.
Oh, that's great.
Mhm.
It's such a beautiful area, just amazing, but a lot of great memories. So I shouldn't be sad about it. Maybe it's just people trying to make some money, but I think at least some of them just don't want to live there anymore. You know, it's too much violence going on again. And it just, Jesus, makes me sad thinking about that stuff. But after growing up in a magnificent, well, I didn't grow up in that area. I grew up in North Minneapolis, but I used to go down there all the time because it's just so stunningly beautiful, you know.
Mm-hmm.
We need to take a break. Be right back in a couple of minutes. Some lame-o. What's his name again? Judd something?
Jughead?
Judd for the defense. There was a TV show called that, you know, Judd for the defense, about an attorney.
Huh.
Really?
Ooh. Hi, Tom Barnard here for Livia Weight Control Centers. Now is the time to get a jump on summer. By the way, thank you to all you people that are reaching out to me saying, hey, because I dropped another pound yesterday. You know what's so weird about this whole thing, the Livia deal, is you can, it's hard to explain. It seems you can eat more and still lose weight. It's not like you're going off the deep end about this, that, or the other thing. This is not a hard diet to follow because last night I had a half a sandwich and a couple other things. It was a wonderful. So I knew I was going to lose weight today, but I mean, there have been times when the grandkids come on over and go, Bop, you have to eat our pizza with us. And I'm like, oh God, pizza on a diet. That's good for you. Still lost weight. I mean, I just, and you got to be a little conscious of how much you're eating, I think is the only thing that works. I shouldn't say works, but the only thing that matters, that is a better way to put it, when you're on Livia, is just don't go too far. You can basically eat the things you want, just don't eat too much of them. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. No doubt about it. So here's the deal. When you join Livia, you'll receive a personalized and doctor-recommended program tailored to your unique needs, goals, and lifestyle. Livia's amazing team of registered dietitians and nutritionists will guide you every step of the way. Join Livia today and get your first 8 weeks free. I said that. Your first 8 weeks free. Join Livia today. Get those first 8 weeks free. Visit livia.com. All you got to do is go to livea.com or call 855-GO-LIVIA. And Livia is now offering GLP-1 medications. I use them. They work like a charm. There's some people that, this is that. You don't know what you're talking about. Shut up. I said shut up. Or you can call 855-GO-LIVIA. And Livia is now offering GLP-1 medications, quiet the food noise, and see accelerated results by summer, which is right around the corner now. I was just telling the fellas that, my God, the next 10 days look beautiful, the weather here. One windy day, the rest of them just really nice. Love that. Visit Livia.com. Call Livia at 855-GO-LIVIA. Start your weight loss journey now and get a jump on some of the Livia way.
When you need someone to listen, a lawyer you know and trust.
If you've never been in an auto accident, it's hard to know what to expect from the insurance adjuster. Here are some tips. 1, if they taught you about whether or not you should hire a lawyer, it's a good sign that you probably should. 2, it's illegal for them to give you any legal advice. They aren't lawyers and they aren't licensed to practice law. 3, if they tell you that everyone involved in the accident is at fault, they're wrong. This comes from the belief that you're at fault for just being on the road. That's nonsense and not supported by any law. Finally, remember that friendly adjusters are often just gaining information. They want you to do most of the talking so they can file their report. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. I hope you're never injured in a collision. But if you are, don't sign anything until you've talked to us.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
Let's take a second to talk about my bank, North American Banking Company. If you own a business, thinking about starting one, make sure you check out my friends at North American Banking Company. I'm very serious about that. I was with other banks, didn't really care for it. I had once in a while you'd be with a bank and you go, these guys got a kind of a sleazy edge to them. I don't need it. So I ended up with all my stuff at North American Banking Company because Bilski runs a hell of a bank and all the people that work for him. I mean, Charmin carries them the whole time. That's just a given. When you open your business is looking to capitalize, your business is looking to capitalize on an opportunity to solve a problem, turn to their experts because they are locally owned and operated. Loan decisions are made here in the Twin Cities. They're not shipped out of state, which does happen a lot. This helps business owners expand with confidence. So if you're looking for a better banking experience, why not bank with my friends at North American Banking Company? Go to nabankco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
Yes, you are, ladies and gentlemen. And there with a very serious look on his face. So that tells me the Twins got their ass handed to him with his purple daily hat on would be Judd for the defense.
Yeah, they did. They did. I as I said, just win 1 of 3, and now they've got 2 games left to win 1 because they got their butts kicked again by the Yankees last night. It's incredible. Now the Yankees are good. I understand that, but the total domination of the Twins by this franchise for 20 plus years now, it's just unbelievable.
No question about it. When you see that Yankee logo, it's like, oh no, what are you going to do? Somebody's mic is muted. It just popped up on my screen. Did you see that?
Oh,
Why I say mic is muted?
No, I don't know. I think everybody's.
AJ, did you drop off on us?
Oh no, the way that we have it now set up, nobody else can see that. That's just because.
It just changed. Oh, you changed. Yeah, these guys hooked me up, so now I don't have to. I can close my laptop if I want to, which I want.
Oh.
Tevin the tech wizard over there.
Yeah,
very exciting.
We got a new cable. That's the highlight of our morning so far. New cable.
Hey, small victories, man.
Exactly right.
Sometimes it's small things. You know what? That's great. But yeah, so the Twins got their ass kicked. They'll try again tonight. Eventually, hopefully, they can win 1 game against these guys because things were going pretty damn well until and the last time was the same thing a couple weeks ago. Things were going pretty damn well until they ran into the Bronx Bombers.
Yeah, there you go. It's just the way it is. I don't know. Look, I love the Yankees, but I love the Twins much, 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 much more. They're my team. I hate it when you can see stuff coming and you're not a professional, but you're right all the time because you're such a fan.
Yeah, I know. And it's like, there's this, fear of, well, it's the Yankees. It's going to be tough. And it always seems to turn out to be exactly right. And that can be the regular season or playoffs. But what the heck? I mean, they're still going pretty well. They just got to score some runs against these guys, too.
They have 1 run again yesterday.
They had one. Yeah, they had a run again yesterday. They had 1 run in the entire 3-game series. I think when now the good news is Royce Lewis came back last night and actually was on base like 3 times and homered. But I believe before he hit his home run in the game last night, the Twins had been shut out by the Yankees for like 30 plus innings because the first game they played here against the Yankees a few weeks back, Ryan Jeffers hit a home run leading off the game, and they never scored again in the entire series.
The entire series, 1 home run to lead things off, and then you couldn't just like double or triple that up to get 1 run per game, could you?
As I said, just get 1 win.
Yeah, 1 win. Let's go.
And I'm not asking for 10 runs. I mean, score 4 runs, win 1 game, and just be happy. But whatever.
I understand completely. So, do you have any good news in the sports world?
Well, let's see here. Well, first of all, it's pretty slow, so
Yeah.
that's one thing because most teams, the Wolves are done now. But the Vikings opened their mandatory 3-day mini camp yesterday. Justin Jefferson was there. I think the entire team was there. So it was good news as far as all of the star players now in this town are under contract for a few years at least. In the case of Kirill Kaprizov, so. That's the good news, but unfortunately when it comes to wins and losses, basically we're at that stage of the year when the Twins are all we've got. So when they get their butts kicked, we don't got a lot.
Right. No, it's very, very true. There's no question about it. I didn't even watch the game yesterday because I knew they weren't going to win. It's just like that first game out, there's no way the Yankees are going to let them win this game. No way. And they didn't. One run again, but look, it's just one of those whole deals, and that's the price you pay for being a big fan. You actually feel it in your chest when they lose. I hate that.
So if you have the premonition that they're going to lose, you just don't bother.
Nope, I don't watch the game. It annoys me too much. I love the Twins that much. They've been a joy since I've been 9 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And then, the Vikings came along the same year, but I didn't catch on to them until I was probably maybe 13 or 14. I think I was 14 or 15 because my brother came home from Vietnam. That's the first time I ever watched a Viking game.
Really? Okay. So you didn't watch them before?
No.
Like with the Twins. Okay.
Well, that's one of those deals. Your older brother's on the other side of the globe and your father abandoned you. So, I think it might be my father abandoning me that was the problem. Maybe.
So what got you into baseball then?
A guy named Dave Anderson. I went to school with him, and we used to go in his backyard. His father took us to a Twins game. I was overwhelmed as a 9-year-old boy looking out at that field and going, there's nothing this beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, it was spectacular.
You're exactly right. I still, the first Twins game I remember going to, I was 8 in 1978, and I remember the same thing. And that's back when you would walk through at the Met. You would be in the concourse, but you couldn't see the field. And so I'll never forget walking through I don't know if it's a tunnel or what it was called, but from the concourse to the seats, and you see that grass, the field unfold in front of you.
Yep.
I know exactly what you're talking about. You're a young kid and you're like, this, oh my God.
So I got to tell you a wonderful story. I love this story so much, and just to have been there, I'm very, very happy. When I was, I guess, 17 years old, I was working downtown at the grain exchange as a janitor. And one of the guys I worked with, I don't want to say his name because he's no longer with us and his family and all the rest of it, but there was about a probably 50-year-old black man that worked there. Just a really nice guy. He and I became really good friends. He invited me to his house. I invited him to my house, the whole deal. He says, hey, Tommy, let me ask you a question. You ever been to a Twins game? I said, yeah. He goes, I never have been. Never been to a Twins game. I said, well, I'll get some tickets. We'll go to a Twins game. We're sitting at the Twins game. It's probably mid-July, maybe late July. So it's steamy. And we're sitting there behind about 10 rows behind the plate, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're about 3 innings in. And he looks over at me and goes, hey, Tommy, let me ask you a question. Did you pay for these tickets? I said, yeah, I paid for them. He goes, how much they cost? I said, $11 a piece. He goes, $11 a piece? And you don't get any shelter? He wanted that sun blocked out.
Oh, okay.
I will never forget that as long as $11 a piece, you don't get any shelter? God, I love that guy. That guy was what a wonderful man. Taught me a lot about work, as a matter of fact. This is how you're supposed to work right here. Do your job.
Right.
Quickly, get it done, and then you can sit around on your ass for a while as long as your work's done.
Right.
He was a great guy.
Well,
great influence in my life. It was. All right, so $11 a piece, you don't get any shelter in your games either?
No. What's hilarious about that is a lot of people don't want shelter. They want that direct sun.
They do. It's true. But I suppose, as a black man in America, that sun beating down does not feel that great.
No, chocolate melts. Trying to get that shade.
Tevin.
Trying to get in that shade.
Well, you know what? I'm with you guys though. I like that. I like that shade. I don't like that direct sun. That's a pain.
No question about it. So my friend from Louisiana, he was originally from Louisiana.
Yeah.
Came up here to work, but man, I miss you. I've been missing you for years and years and years now. Just a great guy. Anyway, moving forward.
It's a good story though.
I love that story because, people who don't know me think that I lock myself up in whitey neighborhoods. It's just ridiculous.
Well, yeah, no, that's yes.
I mean, it's Jesus.
Yeah. Considering your background of like where you came from, yes, that would be an incorrect conclusion to make.
Just stupid. They don't bother. Well, that's because they want to hurt people. They don't want to try to hurt you in some way because they don't agree with you. So therefore, they'll come up with anything. It's too bad. All right, let's move forward because now I'm getting pissed off.
No, we don't want that. But by the way, where were the seats? Like down the line?
Oh, when I was with him?
Yeah.
No, behind the plate, about the 10th row behind the plate.
Okay.
But the old Met Stadium, you have to remember,
Yeah.
at a certain time of day, it was a day game. So at a certain time of day, the sun was right in your face from center field.
Oh, God,
whoa.
yeah. Yeah.
No question. But God,
absolutely.
I loved that stadium. Just loved that stadium.
So did I. And people, it's funny because, I mean, I know it wasn't, in retrospect, it certainly wasn't great, but the fact it was outdoors too.
Yep.
And then we were exiled for what? For 40 years of the Metrodome? 1982.
Was it that long?
1982 to 2008.
Honest
So
to
what's that?
God.
Yeah,
26 years.
Yeah. Yes, that's 26 years.
26 years.
Yeah, because they moved in 80. So the last year in the Met was 81. So they moved in 82. And then and then in 2000 and 2010. So yeah.
You know what's amazing about that? It was a horrible football field because the Vikings played there too. People don't remember that.
Yeah.
It was
No,
a
it was
terrible football field.
Well, it wasn't built for it.
No, not at all.
And then the Metrodome was a lousy baseball stadium because it was built for football. All of those seats in the Metrodome were aimed at the 50-yard line.
Yep, they were. Yeah. You could, if you went to a Twins game, I'd have to look at Tevin to see what was going on. You have to look over your right shoulder. Yeah. Like, what the hell?
And ironically, the Metrodome also a lousy football stadium. Like, even though it was built for football.
Yeah,
also
it was
a lousy football stadium.
No, very good point.
But it was under budget, Tevin. We were very proud of that.
Well, that was such a Minnesota thing. Look what I did. I came in really cheap.
Yeah.
Shut up. Jesus. I'm glad we changed that because we now have some of the greatest stadiums in this entire country.
Oh, God. Target Field is
phenomenal.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Yep.
And yes. Actually, Target Center might have been the last one. It wasn't cheap to build, but it certainly doesn't stand the test of time. But yes, the whole thing of look at how the Metrodome under budget, isn't that fantastic? It's like, well, actually, no, and you should have put air conditioning in from day one, you idiots.
I will never forget how hot it got in there. Was it like 2 years? It was no air conditioning.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Oh my God, did it get hot in there?
Well, and the moronic thing was they said, well, because it was built basically in a hole, so they dug the bill that they wouldn't need air conditioning because it was because it was basically a basement.
Oh God, how stupid are people?
Pretty dumb. Tom.
Basement with like 70,000 people inside.
Yeah,
Warm.
Perfect. No question about it. But what the hell? I'm just glad that we. Because when I was a little kid, we didn't have any teams because our basketball team was already left. I think. What year did they leave again? Was that like
60-ish?
60. There you go. So that was right when I was 8 years old then. So I wouldn't have been yet. So I didn't know anything about them. I never watched again. I didn't know anything about basketball. Just found out about baseball a year later. But you look at it now, man. In the two cities have put together these magnificent stadiums.
Mm-hmm.
The teams still aren't any good, but other than that,
well, the Wolves, of course, they actually are the team now that needs a new arena. But
yeah, right, exactly.
The funny thing to go back to the Lakers, though, is among the reasons why they left is they didn't have an arena. Like they shuffled around. I think they played at the convention center. They played at the Armory.
The Armory, yep.
You know, the NBA was essentially nothing then.
That's exactly right. It was. I didn't even know about it, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
Until years later, it's like the NBA. I never even heard of it.
Yeah. And
But,
so they didn't have a place to play, basically.
No, they did not. Owned by, what was his name again? Bob. Who was the last owner? The one that moved him to LA?
Bob Short.
Bob Short. There.
Yes. Yeah. Who was a lawyer, right?
I believe so. But that whole deal should have never happened the way it did either.
Oh no. And I think Bob Short came in and bought him and moved him. I don't know if it was shortly after, but I don't think he owned them here for a long time. But that league at that time, again, was such a different world. I mean, that's the thing about sports back then that's so hard to grasp is, I mean, players had off-season jobs.
Yeah, I remember seeing Bob Allison selling cars in the off season. I remember that very clearly.
Yeah, can you imagine now?
You just roll up to the dealership to buy a car, and Anthony Edwards is
Yeah.
there. How can I help you?
Oh, that's exactly right. Well, I gotta be honest,
the lot.
I'm in North Minneapolis. There's a place called Size Menswear. Again, I'm about 10 years old. It's in North Minneapolis on West Broadway, right? Size Menswear. We walk by and we see in person right now, Fran Tarkenton. And I looked at my friend and said, "Who's Fran Tarkenton?" He goes, "I think he's like plays on that football team, that Viking thing." I'm like, "Oh, okay." I remember we went into Size Menswear. There was nobody in there at the time, but he asked if we wanted an autographed picture, and we're like, "Yeah." I wish I knew what happened to that picture. Fran Tarkenton signed a picture for me in 1960. God, I wish I knew where that was. Probably got out years ago.
That's hilarious that people weren't there or didn't know.
Nobody.
Yeah, it was a different world, man.
It was totally.
It was a different world, and guys didn't make. I mean, guys made okay cash probably for the time, but certainly not $1 million or six figures or probably anything close to that. Unless you were just the elite, and then you still didn't make a ton. You made good money.
Look, let me tell you something. And we can move on from here. I knew Calvin Griffin, met him many, many times. Calvin Griffith. Did I say Griffin? Calvin Griffith.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. But I knew him because I was a season ticket holder from the time I started making money as a janitor. I love the Twins, right? I'm like 16, 17 years old and all the rest of it. Calvin was never going to pay anybody. That was never going to happen. He just wouldn't do it. You guys don't remember it because you're not old enough. But looking back, that's true, that he wouldn't pay anybody to play baseball.
Oh, no.
Not a chance.
What, Jim Cott, ran off.
Yeah.
Blyleven, they traded the first time in the 70s, partially because of that. He let Killebrew go. He let Killebrew go to Kansas City for a year in one of the most ridiculous.
Yep.
How you don't make sure that guy finishes his career here. Yeah, no, Calvin was. But I mean, that's when guys own baseball teams, and that was their life.
Yep.
These billionaires now own a baseball team, but it's part of a portfolio.
Isn't like the richest owner of a baseball team a woman? There's a woman I can't remember where it is. Is it Houston, maybe? But
I don't know.
A woman that owns a team, and she's just worth billions of dollars.
That I'm not sure. Steve Cohen, who owns the Mets, is worth a boatload now. But I mean, no one owns just a baseball team anymore.
No, not at all. No question about it. But I liked watching it as it went along, and it built. And man, I do love watching sports. And I was a huge University of Minnesota fan because that same year they won the national title. The football team did. People don't realize that was 1960 or 61.
It was the early 60s, yeah, and that's about
yeah.
People are hard pressed to be convinced that the Gopher football team, which has a handful of titles going back to the 30s and 40s, hard pressed to believe that this team actually won national championships.
a national championship when I was like 8, 9 years old. I'll never forget it. I didn't know anything about it. It's just it was all over the television. I mean, my God, it was a very big deal. All right, Pally, very sad report today.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. It started with the Twins and went downhill from there. But I can't. You know, that's what I'm saying. Just win a game to give us damn near like a victory celebration.
They got to win one of these last two. They have to do it.
They seem to think they don't, but yes, it would be nice. I don't know they agree with you considering what we saw again last night, but what the heck?
I know, but you just keep those fingers crossed. I'm a huge Twins fan. You got boys. You got
Keep the faith.
All right, Palomino. We will talk to you tomorrow.
Sounds good, guys. Talk to you later.
Thanks a lot. Judd Zulgad, ladies and gentlemen, SKOR North. Take a break. Be right back in a couple of minutes. Mike Lindella, MyPillow employees, want to thank my listeners for all your continued support. By mine, I mean all of our people on the show here. I don't want to think it's like all my listeners. Do you think anybody listens to the show even though I'm on it?
I think most people do that.
So they just tune in to listen to you guys, and I just happen to be on the show with
I'm fully confident nobody's hitting their alarm clock like, let's listen to AJ chat a little bit
That's
today.
not what I'm telling you. I don't think you're lying now. You're being humble. To thank you, they're having an overstock clearance and new product sale right now for the best prices ever when you use promo code TOM, and you get free shipping on your entire order. Get 50% off the MyPillow 2.0. Also get 50% off the brand new flannel sheets that just arrived. It won't last long. 6-pack towel sets for only $29.98. And take advantage of the free shipping on larger items such as mattresses, mattress toppers, 100% made in the USA, on sale for as low as $99.99. Everything is on sale, from the brand new kitchen towels that have the same technology as the bath towels that actually absorb, dog beds, blankets, couch pillows, and so much more. To get the best specials ever, go to mypillow.com or call 800-516-5146. Use promo code TOM, and you get free shipping on your entire order. So call 800-516-5146 or go to mypillow.com, and please do use promo code TOM.
I've been tracking the weather in Minnesota for a long time. I'm 5 Eyewitness News Chief Meteorologist Ken Barlow. In the morning, I've got to be right because my forecast affects your family's entire day. And in the evening, you can count on my friend, Ren.
That's right, Ken. I'm 5 Eyewitness News Evening Meteorologist Ren Claire. And as a Minnesotan, I know our weather can be tricky. Throughout the day and into the night, I've got you covered with an accurate forecast to help keep your family safe and ready for any weather.
And don't forget, no matter how things change or what time of day, you'll always get our forecast first at the start of every newscast on 5 Eyewitness News. Start your day with me, Ken Barlow.
And wrap up your day with me, Ren Claire.
Because 5 Eyewitness News is always tracking our weather, so you're always alerted first. It's why 5 Eyewitness News is Minnesota's weather authority.
When you go to a restaurant, you expect the chef to be an expert. You expect your auto mechanic to be an expert when it comes to fixing your car. You judge them both by the results of their work, which is always a good idea, by the way, because if you don't finish your work, you suck. Josh Arnold is an expert at insulting me on my own show, like he did yesterday. But other than that, don't worry about my feelings, you know. But Josh Arnold is an expert in investments and planning your financial future. Really good friend of mine, too. Josh Arnold is my expert, and he should be yours, too. I talk to Josh every week, and he understands the market, the economy, and he knows how to plan for your retirement. Do not put it off another day. The man with your plan is Josh Arnold. Call Josh now for a no-obligation, 48-minute evaluation. You have got nothing to lose, and you'll have an expert planning and managing your financial future. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. Josh's number again is 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, Security Investment Advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of the future results. All investments do involve risk. All comments and opinions of Josh Arnold's do not constitute investment advice. I am a paid endorser.
This is the Tom Barnard Podcast. Listen live weekday mornings, 8 to 9:30, or anytime you like as a podcast on the Tom Barnard app at TomBarnardShow.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
Yeah, I've had my scripts up in front of me, so I haven't looked at the screen or anything yet. Did you guys get rid of Egert like I asked you to?
Hold on just 1 second. AJ, hit the button. We got it. There we go. All right, we're good.
Oh, now we're talking. Channel. We go back and he's like, no. Channel 5. Oh yeah, you'd be horribly shocked by that.
By the way, I'm not going to be here Friday because I got to do like all the newscasts. I just remembered that, so I was going to shoot you. No.
So when you go out drinking, you call it doing all the newscasts?
No, I have to work like extra hard.
Why?
I have to go on it. I got to go on at 4:30 and be on from 4:30 all the way to 10.
Hey Tom, the news is none of your business. I can see it now, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm pretty good at doing that.
Yes, you are indeed. Channel 5's Chris Egert is brought to you by Mr. Money Talk Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation at 952-925-5608. Chris Egert with us. So what's the big news this morning, Pally?
Flooding and all the rain and everything we've had is starting to fill up a lot of the rivers and lakes and whatnot. So we had one of our reporters was live in Lilydale Regional Park in St. Paul where they're closing some roads and stuff. It's not, we're trying to give some perspective to it. It's not as bad as it was flooding last year because we had so much snow and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's been rain. I think we've got like 2 months worth of rain in just the last couple of weeks or some pretty ridiculous number like that. So the flooding, that was kind of our big story today.
No, I could understand that. So, I mean, this season-to-season thing's unbelievable. But that's all across the United States. I don't care if you get no snow. Then if you don't get snow, you get hurricanes. So I'll go with the snow.
Yeah, no, for sure. And it's better than being dry. But I guess it's this year, last year at this time, we were even wetter. And then it just stopped freaking raining. And it didn't rain pretty much all summer, if you'll recall. And so we were most of the state was in a drought by the time the summer was over and well into the winter because we didn't get any snow. So I don't know. It's, we'll see what happens, right?
Yeah, it's all you can do, man. No question about it. I was looking over the headlines for today. I didn't see anything sticking out at me.
No, there's been more kerfuffle over the Mary Moriarty and Cooper. That thing's getting, I don't know. It's getting more complex.
You know what I love about that? She comes right out. I think Governor Walz is anti-gay. I'm like, what?
Which is a pretty strong stance given, I think, this governor has had, I think he's got a pretty well-rounded group of people around him when it comes to it. So that's I thought that was a pretty interesting for her to just come right out with that sort of. But I don't know. I'll be curious to see where that goes because I could see Walz's office going, all right, we got to play nice with this situation because it just doesn't look good. So I foresee some like photo op where, Mary Moriarty and Tim Walz are at Sea Salt at Minnehaha Falls sharing a nice lunch together or something.
Yeah. I guess.
Or there's like some kind of a rift there and it keeps getting worse. That'll be interesting to see.
Here's what I don't understand about people. I've never understood it. And, we kind of talk about this once in a while, but it's very, very true. Please understand, I do not like you, not because you're gay, you're the white guy, you're a black guy, you're a red guy, you're a yellow guy, whatever. You're a woman, you're a man, you're all these different things. That's not why I don't like you. I don't like you because you're an asshole. I mean, what's wrong with that? Right?
Well, I think that's what makes it weird because I don't know that she knows why she feels there's beef between them.
I don't either.
And if that's the way she feels about it, that's the way she feels. I don't know. And then again, I'm like, when all that's said and done, like, I don't really care. I would just want there to be, I want there to be justice.
Yeah.
And I do feel, I know we interviewed Ricky Cobb, the second's family and attorney.
Yep.
And I kind of rightfully so. They feel like this thing's turned into this whole weird political pissing match that's got less to do about their son and more to do with different politicians flexing on each other, and which I don't blame them for being frustrated. So.
No, I understand that whole situation. I have not looked at the case. Is there very clear evidence that the reason he opened fire on Ricky Cobb is because Ricky was reaching for a gun?
I mean, I don't know. I've looked at the video.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And I guess the argument is always going to be, you don't know. You're not sitting right there. You don't know how that trooper felt in that moment. He felt the way he felt and made the decision he made.
Right.
I don't personally think that law enforcement officers are in a real big hurry to draw their weapons and to use lethal force. Somebody with a different experience might argue the other point on that, and I understand that, but yeah, I don't know. They're trying to take it to sounds like they're trying to take it to the federal level and maybe circumvent whatever's going on at the county and state level right now. So we'll see where that goes.
Isn't the argument too? Yes, I would agree. There are some cops who are complete assholes, but I would say 95% of them are great and do a wonderful job. I love cops. Always have. And,
and that's your experience with it. I know there's a lot of other people who don't have that experience with it. And, and that it seems to be a big source of tension with a lot of what's been, going on around here for the last a long time.
I should be.
I was going to say the last 5 years, but no, it's been going on well before that. But
I have just decided, as far as the police are concerned, I'm going to turn on all Asian policemen because the last ticket I got was from an Asian cop. So I hate all Asian cops.
Well, and then, that's obviously the other point, right? So it is. But
calm down.
I'm quite certain we're not going to get this issue settled on this podcast today.
The only reason I bring that up is you watch TV and you see how much hatred there is for each other in this world. Every time one of these political guys, including the president of the United States, opened his mouth, well, if it weren't for the other side, we'd be wide up. No, you wouldn't. You're lying. And I know you're lying. Business people. I mean, all these people just lie their ass off.
It's everyone's trying to find ways to capitalize off of division. I think there's
Yep.
I did want to update you guys. It's not funny. It's actually even more sad than it was yesterday.
Oh,
I told this story about the lady at the nursing home in Lincoln, Nebraska, who they pronounced dead, and then they took her to the funeral home.
I'm laughing. I shouldn't be laughing.
Yeah, well, I'm laughing too, but I shouldn't be, because they took her then to the hospital, and then they later pronounced her dead.
Oh my God! So she did die.
She was alive-ish for a while.
Alive-ish. I like. She was alive-ish.
Oh, it's so. That's a weird story. Anyway,
No, you're right.
I'm not offering closure. I'm just letting you know what happened.
Is there any more information on, like, I mean, I guess being, kind of elderly, probably just died of natural causes, but was this something where, like, the family all of a sudden had hope now that she was going to pull through? Just kidding.
I don't know that. I do know that, like, the Lincoln Police Department, they were asked about it and they said nothing about it. It's unusual. They said it's unusual, but it's not suspicious. So they have no reason to, think that anything went on that shouldn't have. And apparently there's been a couple other cases of something like this happening in like the last 18 months, a case in New York and in Iowa. So
really,
is there like security cam footage of in the funeral home of like her doing the Undertaker, like,
oh yeah, there you go. That's nice.
She just wanted to check to see who was going to show up to her funeral.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's how I want to go out.
Couple last will edits. And all right, now we're gonna.
Yeah, so I mean, I get the sense she never really knew she, was not dead.
Yeah.
She was just not cognizant.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't get the sense it was like she woke up and she was like, "Oh, hey, I got my life back," and then.
What time does bingo start?
Gotta go to Cub and get more milk.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. I don't feel like it got to that point, but anyway, I wanted to update you on that.
Yes,
Thanks,
well,
Chris.
thank you very much. Brilliant job, I thought. All right, so so Friday you're not on because you're laying around the house. What is it?
No, I got it. We've got a couple people off. So Megan and I are doing all the newscasts starting at 4:30. So 4:30, 5:30, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 9 to 10. So we're going to be on. We're going to be on that whole time.
Who usually does those headlines?
Brandy Powell and Matt Belanger usually do the other newscasts.
Yeah. Okay.
Because then we normally get prep time then to go do Minnesota Live, which is on from 9 to 10. So that'll be different on Friday.
So what about that one guy that doesn't like me that works there? He's an anchor.
He works at nights, and I don't think he doesn't like you. I was
gonna say, Chris just said he's doing all the newscasts.
That's right. He already told you, Tom.
Chris, there's no like interns around that can fill it. If you guys need help, me and AJ will come in.
All right.
Give us a shout out. Yeah, Tom will bring Tom too.
I'll send an email right now. I'll give him your number.
Can I do my impression of the guy you're talking about? We won't say his name because he probably had kids or something. You ready? That's exactly what's happening with Tom Barnard. Some say he's a racist. Dun, 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 dun. That's how he ends the report. You wouldn't want to call me and ask me what I think, of course. You news anchors are all...
We're all out to get you.
Yeah.
I don't think he was out to get me, but
I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you, Tommy.
Coming for you, man. No, I wasn't deeply offended by it because I just got used to it, but it's like they got to always bob their head. He's a this and a that.
Yeah, that was the story that I did about you. And
oh, that's right. It was your fault. I forgot.
Well, but you didn't.
Well,
you called and complimented me about my part of it because you said, in fact, you put your wife on and she was talking to me. And so you guys were happy with that.
It was great.
I think that set up the way it was set up. That was what you're having issue with. And no, I
don't really have an issue with it. I just wish that he's never met me, doesn't know me. Why would you say something so harsh about someone you don't even know? I would never do that. You're a huge pain in the ass, but that's because I've known you for 20 years.
Right.
I just goes right. Yes, right, Tom. That's right. Oh my God, we gotta get you off.
I gotta get going again. Good to see you.
You gotta get going quickly. Sorry for holding you up there, but thank you. And by the way, Chris Egert, I'm gonna say some things about him.
Some people call him a racist.
Oh, it's only his wife though. She's the only one. All right, Pally, we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Bye. Don't clip that. Don't put that on social media.
Blah, right to social media.
Take that out of context, and all of a sudden I'm looking for a new job too.
It's going to be TikTok around the world.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Pally, we'll talk to you tomorrow. But then, of course, you'll have a 3-day weekend, so that's fine.
Stop. All right.
Bye. Goodbye. Channel 5's Chris Egert is brought to you by Mr. Money Talk Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation, 952-925-5608. We shall take a break. Be right back. Check some news headlines. Matter of fact, did you hear about the fire hydrants in L.A.?
No. I can't wait, though.
I am not kidding. I'll just do a little headline and we'll read the complete story. Scrap metal thieves, the people who steal your catalytic converter and steal your scrap metal.
Yeah, copper wires, stuff like that.
They're now taking fire hydrants and making money off of stolen fire hydrants. Oh. Like, what is wrong with you? We'll have that story in just a couple minutes. Be right back. K&L Surplus and Ammo in Atlanta Lakes is my choice for firearms and ammunition. Jim, the owner, is one of the most knowledgeable people in the business and is great at getting you into the right firearm for your needs. We've talked about that before. You need the right firearm. Jim's the guy who can get it done for you. K&L Surplus and Ammo now carries Benelli shotguns that offer enhanced performance, amazing reliability for uses ranging from waterfowl hunting to skeet shooting and more. I highly encourage you to stop in, talk with Jim and the rest of the K&L Surplus crew. Between their superior knowledge of firearms, friendly customer service, overall stock, and fair pricing, I can't imagine a better location to purchase your next firearm. K&L Surplus and Ammo is on Lake Drive in Atlanta Lakes, open Tuesday through Saturday. You can reach them by phone at 763-757-2614, or you can also visit them online at www.klgunstore.com.
The past several years have been the craziest in the history of the car business. The pandemic, supply chain, and chip issues all causing extreme inventory shortages that led to, predatory pricing. Some dealers charge thousands of dollars over MSRP.
We never played that game. I'm Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC. We knew that would leave a bad taste in a customer's mouth. More importantly, from an integrity standpoint, it was just wrong.
So what about the current market? You know, inventory and pricing.
Valley has their best inventory in years. Really all the Buick and GMC models. Even the previously hard-to-find Yukons, HD pickups, and Hummer EVs. Plenty of deep discounts. Many with factory rebates and low-interest financing.
Then it's a good time to buy?
It's a great time. We're welcoming our previous customers back, as well as anyone else that felt the treatment just didn't feel right the last time somewhere else.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings or valleycardealers.com. Car buying without the bad aftertaste.
I'm here talking with my friends Michael Bilski and Brad Huckle of North American Banking Company. Guys, it seems like banking has changed quite a bit since you first opened your doors in 1998.
Yes and no. In 98, we didn't have online and mobile banking like we do today. Many banking processes have also changed. One thing that hasn't changed is we still provide a true community bank experience right here in the Twin Cities.
Our team takes the time to get to know our customers and their goals. This creates a relationship that is unique in banking today and one our customers appreciate. It's why we like to say we provide a better banking experience.
You're absolutely right, Brad. I've been a customer for a long time. The service your team provides is phenomenal.
Thanks, Tommy.
So why not bank with my banker, North American Banking Company, a better banking experience, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
This is the Tom Barnard Podcast.
Indeed, ladies and gentlemen, little news, little information. Well, there you go. You got that situation now. Chris Egert's going to just disappear on Friday. What are we supposed to do?
You know, I think he's a good egg. That guy's a good egg.
Egert might be the nicest guy. Don't tell him I said this. But he's one of the nicest people I've ever met. He's a great guy. He's come in and do the family podcast. I mean, years and years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But just a really, really good guy. God, that's painful.
Yeah, and I mean, it makes sense why they want him to fill in all day, essentially, to do all the news. But yeah, it sucks where, can we give him a StreamYard link and we'll just like live stream him in while he's doing the news between breaks or something? I don't know. We'll have to figure it out.
On the air, just that'd be impressive. Our top story tonight, also welcoming in Tom Barnard.
Yeah, oh yeah. Hey man, here's some news. I hate everyone. What do you think?
Right. On our next segment on the news, we're just going to do a segment on the Tom Barnard Show. So everybody watch, and then we'll get back to our regularly scheduled program.
Yeah, exactly right. In the news this morning, ladies and gentlemen, the national news, a bunch of fire hydrants in Los Angeles have been completely ripped out of the ground and stolen so thieves can scrap the metal. Why would you steal fire hydrants?
Yeah, and maybe I'm just not the brightest, but if anybody, like, once you take the fire hydrant out, doesn't then water squirt everywhere and spray everywhere?
Yeah, I would think so. Because when you open that, with that little square thing at the end of it, you open that, it's going to come flying out of there. And by the way, did you ever think of the fact that maybe you just cost somebody their life because a fire broke out and you stole the fire hydrant so they couldn't put the fire out and somebody died?
Right. They're not there for decoration. They're there for when somebody's house is on fire, you could put out the flames.
Is that by the way, another thing I witnessed on the way in, because I ended up taking about a 45-minute drive around the lakes and then out, I just drove around for about 45 minutes. Such a beautiful morning. It's a little chilly, like 55.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a guy, I won't say where he was because I don't want to damage the businesses, but as I'm driving down the street, this is on a side street, there's a guy standing there. And I will say this, he's in front of a toy store, so I can tell you that part.
Okay.
He's hitting the crack pipe like a son bitch. I mean, it was unbelievable. He's just standing there, just do. It's like, if I were a cop, you wouldn't know it. But aren't you kind of opening yourself up to some trouble there?
People have no shame anymore.
No, they don't. You're absolutely right.
There was somebody that was telling me about their first experience moving to Minneapolis and living downtown. And they were like, I went to the Whole Foods that's downtown. Like was going aisle by aisle. And they said in the middle of one aisle, somebody had just dropped trow and took a deuce in the middle of this aisle and left. And I was like, yeah, downtown, and really anywhere in the metro. Nobody has any shame.
It's just
anymore.
Disgusting.
Yep.
Why? I mean, right in the middle of the street.
Yeah. Well, it's because they know, nobody's going to get in trouble anymore. Like cops are really focused on more major crimes than they are if somebody's,
I suppose,
doing coke or heroin or whatever drug on the side of the road.
I suppose that does make sense, doesn't it? That's just what they do. I just don't understand it. Like I told you, that stairwell just about a third of a block away from the front door here. There's a guy sleeping in that stairwell every morning when I get here. I mean, don't you wake up one morning and go, what am I doing wrong?
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be on me. It can't be anybody else's fault. It's got to be on me. And is it always drugs and alcohol, or mostly drugs?
I would say probably the combination of drugs, alcohol, and then maybe like medical. Like I know like a lot of people go like I had medical bills that I couldn't afford and things like that. And so, yeah, I'm sure there's a ton of different reasons, but then at some point you just break and are like, well, I guess I'll just live outside the rest of my life and accept it.
Have you ever liked alcohol or drugs so much that you wanted to give your life to them?
Oh, no.
Because that's what you're doing. I mean, oh, my God. It's just so sad. It made me sad at first, but now I'm just like, there's too many of you. There are tens and tens of thousands of you. I can't be sorry for all of you.
Yeah.
It just wake up, live your life. You get one life, and this is how you want to live it, really.
Yeah. And then I met a guy that he was homeless, but by his own choice. He was like, yeah, I moved out of my place. He's like, I train hopped around the country for a year and I treated like backpacking Europe. And he was like, yeah, you see all these parts of the country that are nice. So there's some people that voluntarily do it, but I would say for the most part, it's a forced situation.
Those guys got to travel like that. They're the booze hounds, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, this guy liked to party, I think. He was a little out there.
Nothing wrong with that, I guess. As long as you're not hurting somebody else.
Yeah.
This story fascinates me. I've not read it, but just the headline fascinates me. A remote Brazilian tribe deep in the Amazon rainforest was recently able to access the internet for the first time ever. It has been around for what now, about 30 years?
Probably 30, 40 years, somewhere in there.
Yeah, somewhere between 30 and 40.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Maybe like, wasn't it like 90 something? Like,
so it's like 35 years ago. Maybe.
I would say like 25 to 30.
25 to 30. Okay. So here's the deal. By the way, they got the internet for the first time ever thanks to satellite Starlink service. So are the people in the tribe spending hours every night researching philosophy and medicine? No, of course not. They're internet-obsessed zombies, just like your kids, as a matter of fact. And like any parents, tribe leaders say they almost immediately had to institute time limits or nothing would get done. One elder said in the village, if you don't hunt, fish, and plant, you don't eat. For starters, they've restricted internet access to 2 hours in the morning, 5 hours at night, and all day on Sunday. So what are they doing on the internet? This is a tribe in the rainforest in Brazil. What are they looking at on the internet?
How much porn are they watching?
Oh, see, you had to go.
I'll just say,
Absolutely.
I'll be the one to say it. These guys are watching so much porn.
You had to go with that. Well, we're gonna find out right now. Do you have a vote?
Yeah, probably that. Or I don't know. I don't have any other good guesses because like there's so much on the internet they could be obsessed with. But
unbelievable.
They're catching up on the Drake, Kendrick Lamar beef. They're finding out who like Jake and Logan Paul are. Just so stupid.
Okay, so what are they doing on the internet? Exactly what you'd expect. The tribe says they're already dealing with group chats full of gossip, addictive social networks, abusive online strangers, hours and hours of sports streaming, violent video games, scamming other people on the internet, misinformation, in other words, they're lying, minors watching pornography. There it is. The number one thing is minors watching pornography.
And like what a like kind of juxtaposition of like cultures because they're like addicted to the internet, but then they're also like, if you don't go hunt outside or like build our shelter, we're not going to be able to survive. Like they're somehow living in the past and in the future all at the same time.
What a story that is, though. It was exactly what you guys thought it was. They're trying to scam people and watching porno.
That's got to be such a culture shock to go from you're just remote, you're closed off, nothing, into all of a sudden you have the world at your fingertips. Anything that you've ever wanted to, like anything you've ever been curious about, you can now find the
Oh,
information
yeah,
for it. Now,
sure.
like you said, Tom, they got group chats going, which hilarious that they figured out how to like do all that.
Yeah. Which I wonder how closed off they were from the rest of the world. Like if this was they just chose not to have internet, they didn't have the ability to have internet, and they finally got the towers, so they kind of had the idea already, or if it was this new group of people that knew absolutely nothing about the outside world.
Okay, I got to ask you guys about this because I heard a little bit about it this morning, and this is an offshoot of the first story. You know, this whole situation, that story that came out that they gave away so much shrimp and all-you-can-eat shrimp at Red Lobster that it drove them out of, into bankruptcy or whatever.
Yeah.
Total bullshit. Did you know that?
I kind of found that out because I think when we first talked about it, I was under the impression that they were closing a lot of restaurants, and they are, but they're filing for like what's called Chapter 11 bankruptcy, so they're going to get money back. It seems like it's like a bailout in my understanding of it.
I've been told this by several guys who are really knowledgeable about that kind of business and all the rest of it. Do you know why what their opinion is on why these restaurants are closing?
What's that?
Because some hedge fund guys own the land under the restaurants, and they want the restaurants to hit the road so they can put up like 28-story buildings.
Gotcha. That would make sense.
That's why they're closing the stores, and it's not actually a hedge fund. It's what else would it be? Groups of people that invest together. There's hedge funds, and there's another word for investors, group investors or whatever. But yeah, they realize that the land under those restaurants is so valuable now that they make a lot more money if Red Lobster didn't exist anymore.
I'm sure because they want to build like an apartment complex so they can.
Good point. I mean, that's probably exactly what they're talking about. Now, as long as we're on that story, Red Lobster, you heard about Flavor Flav, didn't you?
Uh-oh.
No, I've heard of Flavor Flav. I don't know.
It's a good story. He's over here being all negative. What are you, racist?
Because every time Flavor Flav does something right with the clock and the clock wants to find love, and he's a lot.
God, he had his own show, didn't he?
Yeah, the Flavor of Love.
Oh,
he did indeed. Well, in case you hadn't heard the news, Red Lobster filed for bankruptcy last month. When Flavor Flav heard about it, he decided to go to one. He ordered the entire menu, the whole menu, ordered it. Quote, your boy meant it when he said, I was going to do anything and everything to help Red Lobster and save the Cheddar Bay biscuits. He wants to save the Cheddar Bay biscuits. Those are good.
Oh, tremendous.
But, I like Red Lobster.
You know how mad those line cooks probably were?
Oh, God.
They're just there. They got like their casual, like Wednesday afternoon rush. Couples here, a couple people here. All of a sudden, Flavor Flav walks in. Give me one of everything.
I want one of everything.
Yeah, and I would argue that probably most of the people working there had no idea who Flavor Flav was.
Probably true. Flav is reportedly in talks to meet with Red Lobster for a potential collaboration. Dozens of restaurant locations have closed, but Red Lobster says they still have 600 locations open while they're trying to sell the company. Matter of fact, do you want to hear what he did order? Because apparently I can click on it and see his order.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, here we go. I'm clicking on it. It went to X. Will that let me on?
Yeah, it should.
There it is. Yeah, it is right there. Okay. Your boy meant it when he said I was going to do anything and everything to help Red Lobster and save the Cheddar Bay biscuits. I ordered the entire menu. Oh my God, look at this picture. Did you guys go to it at all?
Oh yeah, well, where he's standing like this at the table. Yeah, he's got one of, and I was gonna go like, oh, maybe he ordered like one of everything and they distributed it to the other people in the restaurant. No, he's at his own table.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. There are 28 plates of food. 28 plates of food. But I tell you what, those chips look good, man.
Oh, yeah. Like we got the big lobster, obviously. You got to have that. We got, looks like 2 things of biscuits. Yeah, he's eating well. Also, that's probably not going to save Red Lobster, just ordering everything off the menu one time. But I guess it's a good start.
What do you think you got a tip on a meal like that where you order everything on the menu?
Oh, my God. Can you even imagine? I would imagine he probably gave him like probably a 30% tip or something too. He jacked up the tip on him.
Yeah, a
too.
couple $100.
I'd hope so.
God, you know what's amazing about that? What are they talking about this morning? The was it the Big Mac? I think it was the Big Mac. They broke down the cost of a Big Mac in different markets. Because they used to be 99 cents when they first came out. They were like 99 cents.
What a time
for that! What a time in life. Now they average anywhere from $4 to $18 in some markets. $18 for a hamburger.
Who is paying that much money for a Big Mac?
No, it looks like it's on average $5.29.
Yeah, there you go.
But
So-
yeah, in some places, as high as 18.
$18 for a Big Mac, which I've never liked anyway. I didn't mind their regular hamburgers, but I never liked the Big Mac. It was too much.
They're a little overrated. Like,
Yeah, right. That's a good way to put
is
it.
it like, yeah, you're gonna have one at some point in your life, but if you go there and you consistently order it, we got to have a conversation.
No, I agree 100%. We will take a break. Be right back. More news coming up right after this.
Mike Lindell and MyPillow employees want to thank my listeners for all your continued support. To thank you, they're having an overstock clearance and new product sale right now for the best prices ever. When you use promo code TOM, you get free shipping on your entire order. You get 50% off the MyPillow 2.0. Also get 50% off the brand new flannel sheets that just arrived and won't last long. 6-pack towel sets for only $29.98. And take advantage of the free shipping on larger items such as mattresses and mattress toppers. 100% made in the USA, on sale for as low as $99.99. Everything is on sale, from the brand new kitchen towels that have the same technology as the bath towels that actually absorb dog beds, blankets, couch pillows, and so much more. To get the best specials ever, go to mypillow.com or call 800-516-5146. Use promo code TOM, and you can get free shipping on your entire order. So call 800-516-5146. Go to mypillow.com and use promo code TOM.
Is that text you're sending so important that you missed your turn? Is that text you're sending so important that you ran the red light? Is that text you're sending so important you didn't see the ball coming onto the road or the child that followed? Hi, I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. When you take your eyes off the road for even 4 seconds, your vehicle travels 100 yards. That's the entire length of a football field. If you absolutely have to text, you need to pull off the road somewhere safe and do it from there. Texting and driving is against the law and can cause serious injury or even death to you and others. Now that is important. We hope you're never injured in a collision, but if you are, please contact us.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Going farther with Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
When you go to a restaurant, you expect the chef to be an expert. You expect your auto mechanic to be an expert when it comes to fixing your car. You judge them both by the results of their work. Josh Arnold is an expert in investments and planning your financial future. Josh Arnold is my expert, and he should be yours too. I talk to Josh every week, and he understands the market and the economy, and he knows how to plan for your retirement. Don't put it off another day. The man with your plan is Josh Arnold. Call Josh now for a no-obligation 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll have an expert planning and managing your financial future. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. Tom Barnard is a paid endorser.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
Yeah, baby. You certainly. You know, I got to ask you guys a question because I'm having this rice cake, this Quaker rice cake, and it's really good. But somebody told me they have them, but they spray some kind of a liquid flavor on them that doesn't have any calories in it. Do you guys know anything about that?
I've heard about those.
Okay.
Well, you have.
I don't know if
Okay.
it's the same ones, but there's a cinnamon one that are the
Yeah,
ones
right.
that I always get. And then you put some peanut butter on there with the cinnamon and delicious.
And they're only like 35 calories a piece.
Oh, yeah.
Even with the cinnamon, because
Yeah.
that doesn't have any calories in it.
Oh, no. Yeah, it's hard to get an unhealthy rice cake.
Cinnamon. Do you think I could just
Veg cake.
sprinkle, because these don't have any flavor, could I just sprinkle cinnamon on them a little bit? Just
Yeah.
right out of the deal?
Yeah.
I think so.
Oh my God, they're delicious.
Just
And
don't
very low calories.
Just don't turn into the cinnamon challenge from like 2012.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
Maybe do like a cinnamon sugar.
Was that a tablespoon of cinnamon?
You would just take you
Not a good plan.
No.
We in high school we did like I forgot what the technically was called, but it was like cooking 1 and cooking 2 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we did that. We were making like cheesecake one of the days, and my buddy's like, "Hey, let's all do the challenge." So it was the worst thing of all time.
Oh
It
God,
was terrible.
Nope.
Immediately, it just like makes you want to cough, and then it goes everywhere, and then it's like there's no hiding that you were doing it. And
No.
wasn't there like an ice bucket challenge for some?
Yeah, that was for ALS. It was.
Oh, it's for ALS. Okay.
It was the weirdest because we don't even know if money actually got donated. It was just a bunch of celebrities dumping water on their heads and going, "I challenge somebody else."
Well, that's the thing that I never understood why that challenge got as popular as it did, because the whole point of doing it was so that you didn't have to donate money to a good cause. It would be like, it's either you donate money or you got to pour the bucket, and everybody just we're gonna pour a bucket of ice water on our head.
Really?
Nobody ever donated.
Yeah.
So what's the
my
point?
God. Yeah, that didn't work out too well. I got to ask you guys a question because I don't pay much attention to this kind of thing. AI is getting bigger and bigger and bigger all the time, right?
Yep.
This headline says AI will soon be able to observe what you eat and shame you for it. How AI is just going to all of a sudden pop up on your screen? I mean, is that how it works? I don't know anything about it.
I mean, there's AI in a sense of like right now, and I've seen people kind of experiment with this, but they refresh their browsing history on Google or whatever, right?
Uh-huh.
And they hold up like, the word dog toy.
Oh, okay.
Tennis ball, that type of stuff. Like they do a Google search and like the catered ads are not related to that. But as soon as they start talking out loud and saying like, yeah, I got a new dog today, or, I'm thinking about getting a puppy, or I need to go run to the pet store, that type of stuff. And then they Google search like Twins score last night, Twins Yankees score. The catered ads on the site will now be all of a sudden like, hey, PetSmart has deals. And all that stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's AI. Maybe they're kind of working that into where it's going to pick up, I'm going to this restaurant. It's going to assume if you're at McDonald's, you're not getting a salad. You're probably going to have a cheeseburger.
Right.
Shame on you.
Yeah, and it sounds like this is a Canadian company that essentially is taking a camera that you eat in front of this camera.
No,
and
already know.
It will tell you kind of the nutritional value of what you're eating. So maybe they're trying to make it easier to diet. So if you go like you hold up a plate of whatever you just made, and it'll go, oh, there's about this many calories in there. Maybe you shouldn't eat that. I don't know if it's going to call you like a fat MF or anything like that, but it's supposed to help you diet.
I'm just thinking about how messy a lot of people, including my own, cameras would be. Like I'm lucky if I get through a meal without spilling them.
Yeah.
So.
Well, there is that. Uncle Tommy is going to pass along a little information. Something just happened to me just now.
What's that?
And I will, I just wanted to warn everybody. This is for men only. It's not for women. I've so far lost about 30 pounds. Well, from my highest, I've now lost about 80 pounds. When I was at 315, I'm down to, awesome. I've lost about 80 pounds. And I found out what I can do now is I can cross my legs where I couldn't even, I'd have to sit like, with your ankles on your one knee. Well, now I can cross my legs completely. But there's one warning I have for you because I just did it while talking to these guys.
No.
Uh-oh.
I pinched the piss out of my right testicle. Oh my God, did that hurt?
It's usually the left one that always.
Oh, it's the left one that gets you.
Yep.
I haven't done that, I think, since I was like 16 years old. Because I couldn't cross my legs. I just crossed my legs while talking to you. He was like, snap. I'm like, but I don't think I made any noise, did I?
No. Oh, no. You played it off very well.
I heard a pop in my headphones. I didn't know what that was, though.
I have not pinched a testicle in a long time. I forgot what that feels like, and it ain't pleasant. I will tell you that. Right?
Yeah, something you take for granted. But once it happens, it's just immediate flashbacks to like high school football.
Oh yeah,
tackled or something. Yeah.
So you guys knew exactly what I was talking about before I even said it. So you've done it too.
The second you said that you haven't crossed your legs, and then now you just did it, I was like, "This, I know exactly where this is going," and I'm got a queasy feeling in my stomach.
Honest to God, though, I'm looking at you, and as I look toward AJ, I crossed my legs and I was like, "Oh God, whatever." Let's, what we should do is probably take a break here and then ask Kristyn Burtt if she's ever pinched one of her testicles while crossing her legs.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, it's probably a good plan. We will be right back. Kristyn Burtt will join us right after this.
I'm here talking with my friends Michael Bilski and Brad Huckle of North American Banking Company. Guys, it seems like banking has changed quite a bit since you first opened your doors in 1998.
Yes and no. In 98, we didn't have online and mobile banking like we do today. Many banking processes have also changed. One thing that hasn't changed is we still provide a true community bank experience right here in the Twin Cities.
Our team takes the time to get to know our customers and their goals. This creates a relationship that is unique in banking today and one our customers appreciate. It's why we like to say we provide a better banking experience.
You're absolutely right, Brad. I've been a customer for a long time. The service your team provides is phenomenal.
Thanks, Tommy.
So why not bank with my banker, North American Banking Company, a better banking experience, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
The past several years have been the craziest in the history of the car business. The pandemic, supply chain and chip issues, all causing extreme inventory shortages that led to, well, predatory pricing. Some dealers charge thousands of dollars over MSRP.
We never played that game. I'm Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC. We knew that would leave a bad taste in a customer's mouth. More importantly, from an integrity standpoint, it was just wrong.
So what about the current market? You know, inventory and pricing.
Valley has their best inventory in years. Really all the Buick and GMC models. Even the previously hard-to-find Yukons, HD pickups, and Hummer EVs. Plenty of deep discounts. Many with factory rebates and low-interest financing.
Then it's a good time to buy?
It's a great time. We're welcoming our previous customers back, as well as anyone else that felt the treatment just didn't feel right the last time somewhere else.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings or valleycardealers.com. Car buying without the bad aftertaste.
I hosted my show on the radio for 40 years. Now I host the Tom Barnard podcast, and I'll tell you, I've never seen the passion and engagement from our audience as I do now. I know we also have businesses that listen to our podcast, and it got me thinking, wouldn't it be great to help those businesses grow by telling my listeners about them? So here's the deal. If you own or handle marketing for a business, would like to have my audience buy your product or service, visit TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner, and we'll put together an ad campaign to help your business. That's TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner, and thank you for listening.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, you love those cheddar biscuits at Red Lobster, Kristyn Burtt?
I have only been to Red Lobster like twice in my life.
Me too.
Is that? Yeah, I vaguely recall their cheddar biscuits. I'm sure they're really good though. Anything with cheese in it is delicious.
That is very, very true. Did you see that Flavor Flav went and ordered the entire menu, 28 plates of food?
I was on a flight with him last week.
Oh, were you?
Yes.
Like cheddar biscuits?
I didn't ask him about his cheddar biscuits, but here's the thing.
Well, let me show you my cheddar biscuit. What?
Yeah.
So did you talk to him?
I did not talk to him, but he was on Southwest with me.
Oh,
So
okay.
I flew out of Burbank, which is a very small airport in Los Angeles. You get out on board on the runway. That's how small it is. And he must have been, because I was in the A group, but he must have been in that A, like 1 through 15, because he had like front row first seat and he had his head down, but he had his ginormous medallion. He is supporting the women's water polo team. So it was all in like Olympic colors and had like water polo symbols on it. It was hilarious.
That's awesome.
Indeed, it all works out. But it was nice of him to go in there because he heard, someone was shutting down. There's still 600 of them open, but they're trying to sell the company because they're in bankruptcy. But when guys do that kind of stuff, they have a nice career and go and do stuff like that. I really, really like that a lot. No question.
He's a good guy. And I'm excited that he's going to probably do a lot of Olympics content. So I'm kind of excited by that.
Is he going to start swearing at the foreigners? The damn foreigner just won that.
Isn't everyone a foreigner at the Olympics
Everyone's
other than the Parisian or other the French,
That's right. It's in Paris this year, isn't it?
It is. I don't know if they're ready, but it is happening.
I got to be the only guy on earth. I've been in France once, but I've never been in Paris. Why would you go? If you're going to go to France, why wouldn't you go to Paris?
Paris is amazing.
No, I got to get there. I have to get there.
You have to at least see the Eiffel Tower once in your life. I fell asleep on the Eiffel Tower, by the way.
You fell asleep in
fell asleep on the. So I went up to. I landed in Paris, and I was there for work. So I like to battle, jet lag by like getting out and enjoying the day right off the bat. So I was like, I'm gonna go and see the Eiffel Tower, and I left my hotel. I went to the Eiffel Tower, bought a ticket, and I got to the second tier because you have to take several elevators up. It's not one continuous elevator, and they said, if there's winds going on, we're going to pause the elevators probably for the next 45 minutes to an hour. You can stay or you can go. So I'm like, well, I'll just wait here on a bench. I got this far. I want to get up to the top. And I fell asleep on the bench, like completely laid out. And I woke up and the elevators were going and people were moving around. I don't know how long I was asleep for.
Unbelievable.
But my mother's like, you can sleep absolutely anywhere. And I'm like, yes, the second tier of the Eiffel Tower because of jet lag.
I think I would love Paris for this very reason. Because my wife, Catherine, went to Paris with one of her buddies, another woman, and they were eating at the Eiffel Tower. Apparently there's a restaurant at the top or somewhere on the Eiffel Tower. I don't know where it is. Can't be at the top because that's just a little peak, isn't it?
Yeah, if you go all the way up to the top, it's narrow and small. So
okay, so I don't know where the restaurant is, but they were at the restaurant. But I know I would love Paris for this very reason. So the server comes over, and Catherine's buddy asks for a glass of wine, and she asked for a specific kind of wine, and the server said, "Ma'am, I'm sorry, but we serve house wine here. We have a red and a white." And she said to him, "Well, is the red any good?" There was a pause, and he said, "No, ma'am, it's very, very bad." I got to go to Paris because I love that.
I love honesty. I love a waiter when you order something and they go, ugh. Because I appreciate that. That'll get you an extra tip from me because you steered me away from something that's like mediocre. Or if I ask them like, do you like, this plate of pasta? And they're like, it's okay. I appreciate that. And I order something else because they steer me usually in the right direction.
One more quick story, and I promise I'll shut up. Another Paris story. Another reason that I have to get to Paris someday. Louis Nanny, the hockey player, legendary hockey player, he and his family travel together all the time. So the Nanny family traveled to Paris, and they're out to dinner one night, and they're, pretty loud. Well, they're Italian, so they're making a lot of noise. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's just the way it is and all the rest of it. But I apparently at some point, the manager had to go to their table to tell them to quiet down. And they said, "Oh, we're not making that much noise. What are you complaining about?" And the manager said, "Oh, my God, you Americans." And Louis said, "I'm not American. I'm Canadian." And the guy said, "That's even worse." Great. See, I love people like that. No, it's very, very bad. Oh, yeah, well, that's even worse.
They'll take it to the next level. They always have a response.
But I got to, and of course, I'm not going to be able to see that cathedral because have they torn that down yet? The one that the roof caved in?
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame. It is Notre Dame, isn't it?
Notre Dame. Yeah, they're rebuilding the back half after it burned, but you'll be able to see it.
I would love to see that. I mean, there's so many things.
It's gorgeous.
See, I really like French people. A lot of French people are Catholic, and therefore when the French would move, they would go to St. Joe's where I went to school. So you'd have all these kids, 2 + 2 = 4. I'm like, what the hell is that? What's that all about? But yeah, so I got to go. I got to get there.
You have to do it. And the food is so good. And, I had a great experience in France. And a majority of it, I was traveling by myself because I was there for work. I met up with a couple friends, but for a short amount of time. But they were very nice to me. People are always like, the French are so rude. But I'm like, they were kind to me, helped me with directions if I couldn't. I tried to speak my best French as possible. And they didn't make fun of me, which was nice.
Okay, I got just one more quick one because I got a request for it from a guy I went to school with years and years ago. There was a play at St. Joseph's, and there was supposed to be a French waiter. Okay, but they didn't have a French kid to play the French waiter. And apparently this kid had never heard a certain phrase because he misread what it said. And they made their order, and he was supposed to say wee wee, right? But he read it as oink oink. Like, how does that look like oink? O-U-I, isn't it? Wee wee is O-U-I, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
How do you get oink out of O-U-I?
I think that the mind sometimes sees things differently. If you ever think about it, sometimes you forget a word, but you actually, while you're writing something, but you read it as it should correctly be spelled out there. And you're like, oh my gosh, I completely forgot the verb or the subject, but I still read it correctly. Our mind plays tricks on us.
It does indeed. No question about it. Watch another episode of Fallout last night. That is one hell of a show. I'll tell you. It was number 5, I think. It's the one that didn't have Walton Goggins in it. He wasn't in it at all last night, which I didn't think I would like that show. I think, oh, it's another science fiction movie. But it's got such a great sense of humor. I really like it.
Yeah, it really goes to show that no matter what the genre is, if the writing is strong, the story stands. And that's really what it's about.
No, I think you're absolutely right about it. I just think it's a hell of a show. I've said for 6,000 times now, TV is the best it's ever been. It really is.
Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it because there's a lot, a lot of good content out there. And I know you're juggling like 12 to 16 shows at once.
Shut up. Leave me alone. You're mean to me.
I think it was Tim last week. He goes, I admire you for being able to juggle all these shows and not, binge them. Because I think most of us probably binge and just blow right through all the episodes as we can.
Yeah, a lot of them do. But no, I take them week by week. As a matter of fact, the fact that, the Mayor of Kingstown came back, only one episode's come out. And we will watch when that episode comes. What does it come out on, a Sunday night or something?
Sundays,
yeah. So, we'll just stay on top of that because, first of all, I want to support a man as brave as that guy is because he's still got a lot of health problems, from what I understand.
Yeah, he said he's always going to be in recovery of some sort because, it was a 14,000-pound snowcat that landed on him.
Oh, God.
And honestly, if it was not for, his neighbor acting quickly and he had a family member who also acted quickly, he would not be here. And, that's why you hope in medical situations when it's a crisis that people don't freeze and go into shock. You need people to actually call 911 and start applying pressure because he would have bled out.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure that's true. Where did it land on his body? Did the whole body?
Yeah, he was crushed.
That's what I thought. Yeah. You could never tell. I'll tell you that. I watched this episode. You could never tell he's even hurt.
He's not a big guy either. He is on the smaller side. He's probably one of those like 5'7" actors. He's not, big and brawny. He's not The Rock. Let's put it that way.
Right. It's a hell of a story. No question about it.
Yeah, he's writing a book about it too. So I'm assuming we will see a book tour and probably some major interviews about it.
I like it. I will support the man. He's a very, very look. I loved the show anyway for the first 2 seasons. I thought it was a great show. And then hearing that, I said, this is my kind of guy. It's like, I'm not going to let this get me down. I'm coming back. I love people like that. So what else you got, sister? Any great stuff coming up?
No, let's talk about Alec Baldwin because
God.
Yes.
Reality show.
The Baldwins is coming to TLC. It's a cash grab. Let's just be honest.
Yes.
Did you ever see a cash grab bigger than this one?
No.
On TLC, you said?
On TLC. Would you, if I had said to you in 10 years, okay, Alec Baldwin's going to go through a legal crisis and obviously a really horrific, traumatic experience on set. And then he's going to do a reality show with his wife, who may or may not be Spanish. She's not Spanish. She's from Boston.
Oh, my God. Isn't she from New York?
She's from Boston. Literally, she and I lived identical lives. She is from Boston, like preppy part of Boston, like suburbs, went to prep school, but spent like a semester in Spain. And then her parents eventually moved there. So she now claims that she's from Spain in Spanish. It is like me claiming I'm suddenly Spanish. That's crazy because I went to visit Barcelona once.
Yeah, there you go. You said carne. You said carne once instead of carne.
Yes. Barcelona. Yes, exactly. But she suddenly doesn't have her accent, which was really interesting in yesterday's promo.
I wonder why.
She's lived in America for so long, it just naturally has gone away. Yeah.
And she normally calls them the Baldwinitos, and suddenly they're the Baldwins. So I was like, yeah, they're trying to let that narrative kind of like disappear. Like we suddenly forgot that it actually happened. Like, what do you call this? Oh, cucumber.
Oh, God.
Just, but he, listen, it's not coming until 2025, the reality show. So we do have to wait until next year. However, his trial does start July 9th in New Mexico. And the prosecutors and his legal team are fighting over Hannah Reed Gutierrez, who is the convicted armorer from the set. She's serving 18 months. Baldwin's team wants to use her taped testimony from the initial day of the accident, while the prosecutors are trying to force her to testify live. So, because there's conflicting information there. Yeah, so we'll see how that plays out. I think this is going to be a heavily covered trial.
Why do people pretend to be something they're not? I don't understand why. So they don't like their family. They don't like themselves. I have to change completely because I don't like myself.
In terms of Hannah or in terms of Alec?
Well, both of them actually.
I mean, Alec just needs money. He's selling his, Hampton's home. I mean, his legal bills are probably very high. He's had settlements, of course, to Helena Hutchins and her family. But when it comes to Hannah Reed Gutierrez, I mean, she is mounting a appeal right now as well. So we'll see how all of that plays out. But she doesn't want to testify live because she doesn't want it to affect her appeals.
Yeah, I suppose. What accent would she testify in?
Well,
I don't think she has it.
That would be what's it? Hilaria
Baldwin.
Oh, I just thought they'd all do it. I just thought they'd all show up with Spanish accents. That'd be the whole. We all are from Spain. That was a terrible Spanish accent I just did.
I was thinking about trying to do one earlier, and I was like, I don't even know. I'd be somewhere between French and Spanish because we've been on a whole trip.
Oink, oink.
Yeah,
I know we've been going to Europe. Like we're overseas today.
What the hell? But I don't know. It's so sad that some people, and Danny Baldwin and I were kind of friends for a while there. He's a hell of a nice guy. And I mean, he never came right out and said it, but you always got the feeling he's like, oh God, why is Alex so embarrassing? Because he called people the big N in public, which I remember that when he went through that whole deal.
I remember what he did to his daughter Ireland and called her pig on a voicemail. I mean, Alec people tolerated his behavior. He was always violent toward paparazzi. And I get it. The paparazzi can be very intrusive, but at the same time, it was always seen that Daniel was the problem because of his addiction issues, and his brother Stephen as well, because Stephen is a born-again Christian. He's very conservative, and people viewed him as problematic, but maybe just the whole family is problematic.
Danny once told me because I asked him about this whole thing, blah 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 blah. And I said, well, so I mean, Alec is always threatening to beat up somebody, and he started laughing. He goes, that candy ass couldn't beat up anybody. It was his own brother saying that. That's not very nice now, is it?
No. But that's family, they like to
yeah, that's true. That's a family thing to do. You're absolutely right.
Really quick, so I know speaking of families that have some stuff going on, I saw news and reports that Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie's, I believe it's their eldest daughter, has already filed paperwork to remove the Pitt from her last name when she turns 18 here in a month or two.
Really?
And I know you've informed me because I was totally unaware of the plane incident, including that family in the past. Do you think that's like the stem root of this this branch now?
Yes. We are now seeing, as the kids turn 18, and I think that there are now, let me just out of the 6 kids, 4 of them are over 18. And as each of them have turned 18, they have all dropped Pitt from their last name. Shiloh is the most recent one. She did it on her birthday. So this is a very symbolic act. You don't do it on your birthday unless you're trying to drive a point home, because that the press is going to pick this up. TMZ is waiting at the LA courthouse for this. So she did it with her own money as well. She did not have her mother pay for her lawyer.
Right.
And this really is kind of like the comeuppance of Brad Pitt. People honestly realizing his kids want nothing to do with him. And that 2016, and I say alleged because, you know, he was never charged, alleged domestic violence incident, although the FBI papers are out there, the testimony is out there. Something really awful happened on that plane.
Yeah.
And I know that he has gotten sober. That is a step in the right direction. But his kids still to this day, and now we are at 2024. So 8 years later, they still do not want to speak to their father. Speaks volumes to me.
Is he working anymore? I haven't seen him in anything.
He was supposed to be doing Quentin Tarantino's latest project, but Quentin dumped it. So I don't know what he's working on. But Brad Pitt is also a very successful producer. So he works behind the scenes quite often. He's got a new movie coming out with George Clooney. So yes. Yep. And so he's out there and he's working and his A-list friends are supporting him. But you have to say, at what point do we hold people accountable for their behavior?
When they stop paying you so much money, that's when they do it.
Well, if we're holding Diddy, shouldn't we be holding Brad Pitt?
I agree.
To me, these are both, you know, issues of abuse. And so is it only because the feds are now after Diddy that we're holding him accountable? Brad Pitt, you know, got off. The FBI dropped the case in the Los Angeles office, and Angelina Jolie is asking why, because the national office of the FBI recommended that he was charged with domestic violence, but it was the LA office who dropped it.
I'm going to do this. If I ever get back on the radio, I'm going to change my name to Pitt Diddy. What do you think?
Yikes.
Hey, Pitt Diddy here. How you doing?
That's terrible. Don't do it.
That's terrible. Don't do it.
I am telling you right now, we don't like cancel culture, but don't get canceled over that.
Okay. I'll stay away from it. No question.
Yes.
Hell of a report, sister. We will talk to you tomorrow.
Yes, I will be back in Los Angeles tomorrow. I'm at a hotel today, if you couldn't tell.
Oh, look at that. All snazzy behind. You got art behind you in two different spots.
It's just a little suite. It's very fancy.
Big
for a
chef.
suite.
Why don't you go downstairs and order a bunch of food and booze and have the company pay for it?
That is always a good idea.
It always is, yes.
If you want to get fired.
Capitol Records, baby. Those expense accounts for record guys. Oh my God.
Back in the day, the spending was freewheeling. Whatever you wanted to put on your card, you could.
It's true. Have a magnificent day. Talk to you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kristyn Burtt Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender. I'm going to tell you the guys this before you go. I don't know what happened to my brain, but it's going away. I was sitting here thinking, like in the middle of that report, you know what? I should call Catherine and ask her to grab my phone. Well, how am I going to call her if I don't have it? You see what I'm saying?
Might be an issue.
It's definitely an issue. In any case, we will talk to you guys tomorrow. The family shows up in about 15 minutes.